as you can hear, little ones want some treats. So first thing right off the bat, let's give the puppies a treat. Good boy, good girl. Okay, you've probably seen me jiggling. Yes, we're still using the new tripod, and we're just adjusting. So, what am I going to get into this morning? It's Monday, and I've got to get some things done. So I thought I'd jump on here for a little bit and bring you along. It's a little bit cool here in Ohio this morning, so yes, I'm in a flannel. And yes, we are still dealing with the wonderful boot. And it is what it is. So, first off, I wanted to go ahead and get a few things started this morning. So I did go ahead and get a bunch of potatoes ready. I'm trying to fill my freezer back up. So these are all cubed and in water, and I added just a little bit of salt. I'm going to get those on cooking, and those are going to be mashed potatoes for tonight. And then whatever's left over, I'll divide in containers and put them in the freezer, and that way I'll have meals ahead of time. So, I'm going to turn on this noisy exhaust and get the potatoes started. Okay, so we got that started. That's good. Now, what else am I going to get into? Okay, you can probably see I've got my crock pot right over here, ready. Got me a liner in the crock pot. I have a pork loin, and it's a pretty good sized pork loin. And I don't want to make all of this in the oven today for dinner. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half, and then I will put half in the crock pot, and I will let it start cooking and just cook for 8 hours or until it's tender and I can shred it. Half of it will become pulled pork, barbecue pulled pork, or pulled pork sandwiches. Okay, so got some coffee, got a pork loin there that's looking at me saying, do something with me. Hi, good morning. No one cares, good morning. So anyway, we're going to get this pork loin started. We've got some potatoes on started for mashed potatoes. And I made some homemade noodles. And I'm going to show you how I use my sealer to seal it and preserve it. And this is just like going to the store and buying a bag of noodles. So, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So grab you something to drink and join me this morning while I piddle around the kitchen. Sorry, my brother was typing. It's okay. It's okay, no problem. You're good. It's all good. So grab you a drink, and warm drink, cold drink, and join me this morning while, like I said, I'm still limping. I'm still displaying, styling, and profiling my new footwear, and waiting for my bone doctor to call the orthopedic doctor, and we'll go in. Like they said, they don't think it's broken, but they want to send me to an orthopedic doctor. So this, hopefully, beginning of the week, we'll get a phone call, and I won't have to be in this boot much longer. How is the foot, ankle, leg feeling? It's still hurting pretty bad. It's still pretty bruised and swollen, but it's doing a little better every day. I broke my comment. Okay, so I'm going to get started on this pork loin. So I'm going to turn you around just a little bit. And again, I'm working with hobbling around the kitchen and working with a new tripod. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this big pork loin and I'm just going to cut it in half. I want to fix half for dinner tonight, and then I want to put the other half in the crock pot and just let it cook slowly until it's ready to be shredded, and I will turn this into barbecued pulled pork sandwiches. So that'll be another meals that I can put in the freezer for another day. So the first thing I'm going to do before I get started on that is I'm going to get my pan lined, and I'm just using a glass baking dish. And I'm going to be making this pork loin in the oven today. So before I get this cut, I'm going to go ahead and get my dish ready. So let me wash my hands here. And I'm going to move you over just a little bit, and I'll get started. So it is definitely Monday. And I didn't know what I was going to get into today, but I still need to do things even though I'm injured. And right now, I do need to restock my pantry and restock my freezer. So I'm slowly working on that. And once I get all of this done, I will show you how I made the noodles. I did not do these with the hand crank. I did these using the Pasta and More pasta maker. And we can go ahead and run some more. I did 4 pounds of noodles. And it came out to 2 quart jars after they were dried. And it took about 2 days, 3 days for them to dry enough for me to put them in the quart jars. And then here in a little bit, you see I put an oxygen absorber in with them. And these turned out absolutely beautiful. And I will go ahead and seal these with my battery operated sealer. And these will be ready to be put away. And I will start some more. So first things first, we're going to get started on this loin. So let me get my dish ready. I'm going to line it with aluminum foil. Hopefully this is not too loud. I'll go this way first. I just want to make a little bowl out of my aluminum foil. Because I'm going to be putting some liquids in here, and I want everything to stay in there so I can baste it throughout the cooking process or baking process. Hopefully that's not too loud. I'm going to put one more layer in on the bottom, just to make sure I catch all my pieces in liquid. This will just be baking slowly for several hours today, and then I'll be basting it. Hopefully that's not too loud. kind of hard to be quiet with aluminum foil. So basically I just made a large bowl. Basically to put my roast or my pork loin down in and all of my goodies. So, the first thing I'm going to do is add some Worcestershire sauce. It's going on in here. I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce. Now this is going to be what I'll be using to baste my loin with throughout the day. And you can probably hear my puppies playing in the background. If so, I apologize. But they are puppies doing what puppies do. Now I'm going to add some soy sauce. When is Granny? And now we're going to add some soy sauce. And I'm getting this ready before I cut this loin, because I'm going to be cutting this loin in half. And this is going to be what I'll be using to baste my loin with. So I'm going to set that off to the side. And we're going to cut this loin in half. And I do have my CROCK lined with a liner. And I'm just going to cut this in half, because half of this will be for the meal tonight, and the other half will be going in the crock pot and will be turned into, that knife doesn't want to cut. Another one. And the other half will be going into the crock pot, and I'll be turning it into barbecue pulled pork sandwiches. Okay, so I'll put this half in the crock pot. And now I can go ahead and have this half ready to go in my baking dish. So the lid on the crock pot. And then the only other thing I'll be using is I'll be using some brown sugar. So let me go ahead and get this easy. Hey, no. Easy. Puppies are getting a little rough in there. Okay, I'm going to move that cutting board out of my way. And I'm going to bring my bowl back. And I'm going to put this half of the pork loin in with my sauce that I'm making here. And that's going to make a very nice loin for my husband and myself. So hopefully you can see that. That's going to make a very nice loin. So I'm just going to repeat and add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce right across the top of my loin. Might as well shake that again. I'm going to add some more soy sauce. I'm going to add that right across the top of my loin. wash my hands real quick here. My hands are a little sticky. Now I'm going to take some light brown sugar, light brown. And I'm just going to coat the top with brown sugar. And I'm going to coat it pretty heavy because I did put soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce in there. So I'm just going to put this on there heavy. Pack it down. And then I'm going to add some into the sauce itself. And that'll help take some of that tanginess out of the Worcestershire and the soy sauce. Because I'll be using that to baste. This will be my basting throughout the day. So it's a pretty simple, easy pork loin. Not much to it. And I can put that in the oven and it will be just baking throughout the day. And that will be dinner, along with the mashed potatoes that we've got going here. So now, kind of bring it back up so you can see it again. Hopefully you can see that. I just have it basted really good with the brown sugar. It already smells absolutely delicious. And I'm going to get this started baking. And I'm just going to wrap this very tight with my aluminum foil. Because I want this to bake slowly. And then throughout the day while it's baking, it'll probably take about 3 hours or so. I'll keep going back and checking it and basting it. And I do have quite a bit of aluminum foil on there. I want it to just bake slow. I'm in no hurry. I'm limping around today getting some things done. So that will be dinner. Trying to find easy things to do since I'm injured. And I will get that all ready to put in the oven. And I'm going to set that on a cookie sheet, also lined with aluminum foil. And I'm going to turn my oven on to 350, and I'm just going to let that bake slowly throughout the day. It'll probably take about 3 hours, maybe 3 hours for that to get done. And yes, I'm in frame and out of frame. I'm using a tripod that I'm not used to. And it'll be okay. We're limping, we're injured, but we're getting things done. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get this in the oven. Well, maybe I better check to make sure I don't have anything else in there, and I don't, so we're all good. And I'm just setting that in there on 350. I'll check it every so often, about every half an hour or so, see if it needs basting. And then I will let it continue to bake until it is done. And that is a pork loin that I just put in the oven. So now I'm going to turn you back around, and yes, I'm using a tripod I'm not used to, so please be patient with me. All right. Hands washed. All right, so now the next thing I'm going to work on, hopefully you can see okay. Maybe just a little bit. Sorry, I'm trying to do this easy so I don't have you bouncing everywhere. There we go. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and seal those 2 jars of noodles. And these are the 2 jars of noodles that I made. And I let them lay out on cookie sheets lined with aluminum foil and dry. So now I'm going to seal them. I put in oxygen absorbers in already. Hopefully you can see that. But I'm also going to use my battery operated seal. Let me do it over here. Since I already have it over here, let's just move over this way. Now, hopefully you can see that. Let's see if I can move you down just a little bit. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and seal these. And I'm going to seal them using this little battery operated lid jar sealer. I absolutely love it. It has your regular size mason jars and your wide mouth. And we're using wide mouth today, so I'm going to seal these jars and they will be ready to put in my pantry. So, and this one also has oxygen absorbers. So now we're just going to get it sealed and we will put them in the pantry. So, really easy. See if I can get me and the jar in frame. All you do is just take your sealer, battery operated sealer, put it on. Just make sure you have it all the way down. You can hear it changes. You can hear it vacuuming. I usually let it run about 22 to 26 seconds. Just turn it off. And I have a perfect seal. So now this is ready for my pantry. So I have made my homemade noodles. I've let them air dry out on cookie sheets lined with aluminum foil. Then I went ahead and put some oxygen absorbers in just to make sure there is no more moisture in my noodles. And I have now sealed it using my battery operated jar sealer. So I'm going to repeat the same process. This one has oxygen absorbers in it. I've already wiped the ring, so it should seal. Hopefully, we will see. And here we go. I really like this. It took me a little bit to get used to it. Hi, Zed. Is that Zed? Hi, Zed. It took me a little bit to get used to it, but I like it. I just before was not getting a good seal. I was not pushing it down properly on the jar because I have trouble with my hands, and it was not sealing. So as you can see now, I'm not having any trouble at all. So these noodles are now shelf ready. I'm filling back up my pantry, and I'm doing this healthy because we're trying to be a little more healthy because of my husband's health. So I'm trying to make as many things as I can, all natural. So I know what's in these. I made them myself, and the only ingredients in these was the flour, the salt, the eggs, a little bit of olive oil, and water. So I know that's all natural. They have no preservatives in them. So once they were made, I put them out on the cookie sheets lined in aluminum foil, put them on my island, and just let them air dry for over 48 hours. It was going into the third day this morning whenever I put them back into some jars. And I made 4 pounds of noodles using my noodle maker, and dried. It gave me 2 quarts, plus the day that I made the noodles, I had baked the whole chicken, and we had chicken flavored noodles on the side. So I probably would have had another quart, or maybe a half a quart of noodles, but we've already used some of the noodles the day that I made them, and they were absolutely delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and just put these off to the side. They'll be ready to go in my pantry. So now we're restocking the pantry. So like I said, even injured, you still have to get things done. I really do like this one. If you're interested in this particular one, this is the, if we can see that, we'll do it this way. It's the KZ80, KZ80, and it is the portable sewing machine. And I absolutely love it. It is battery operated. It has a USB port. You can recharge it, and it does regular and wide mount. So this would be for your regular. You would just leave it on, and to do your wide mouth like I did, you just take the bottom part off. And when you're doing your regular, let's see if I can line this up right. You would just put it on, and it has a lock position. That way you know that it's locked and it's ready to do your regular mason jars. So that's one more step. I've made it through this since Thursday, injured. So I'm doing good, and yes, I'm moving slow. I'm up for just a little bit, and then I have to sit down and rest a little bit. So what I'm probably going to try to do next, I know this is going to give me a good start for the pantry, but I want to go ahead and make some more. So if you don't mind hanging out, I'll go ahead and get my machine out, get it set up, and I'll show you how I made these, what machine I'm using. And I'm not doing these by hand. I'm letting the machine do it because I am injured, and it's making it just a little bit easier for me. So we'll go ahead and get some things moved around here. And I will get, I just don't want Puppy, if you get bumped, it's Puppy trying to move. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out some cookie sheets. And I'll go ahead. These are already lined in aluminum foil. They are ready. Okay, and I will get everything set up. We'll get back over to this side, and I'll get set up right here, and I'll show you this noodle machine, and I'll show you how I make these noodles. Again, these are not handmade. I'm not cranking them out by hand. I'll kind of keep you over here where you can see me. I'm going to make some room here on my island because whenever I do lay them out, it's quite a lot of noodles. And I need room to lay everything out. So I'm just going to kind of make a little bit of room here. Those will be put away. And yes, this is not a perfect world. I do everything live, and we just get her done. So we'll get this done. Like I said, I'm limping, so please be patient with me. I think I can leave those mats down. That's not going to hurt anything when I'm setting my cookie sheets out. And that will give me just a little more room because it takes up about half of my island whenever I'm making the noodles. So I'm going to go ahead and set these off to the side. And I did get some more of the puppy's chicken jerky made, dehydrated. I did that yesterday. So we've got them restocked. And I'll go ahead and get a few of these little things here put away. And then I will get out my noodle making machine. And again, I absolutely do like this particular battery operated jar sealer. It's a vacuum sealer. It's battery operated. I've had absolutely no problems with it. It took me a little bit to get used to using my hands and the feel is it on the jar correctly, and so once I got used to it, I've had absolutely no problems. And would I recommend this one? And no, I'm not affiliated with these in any way. This company, this is the KZ80, and it is the portable sealing machine. And it does come with a USB charger cord, and it comes, I think, with 10 lids as well. And would I recommend this one? I absolutely would. And since I will be making more noodles, I'm just going to set this off to the side because I'll be using that again. So, I'm going to go ahead and get my noodle machine out. I call it my noodle machine. It's a pasta maker, but I call it noodles, but it'll be alright. So I'm going to turn you around here. I'm going to turn this down before I have an overflow. I've got potatoes on, cooking for mashed potatoes, if you just come on. And we will have mashed potatoes with our PORKLOIN for dinner. And then whatever's left, I'll be putting into the freezer for a freezer meals, because I'm restocking my big freezer. It's that time. Okay, I will be right back. Let me get my pasta maker. Okay, now this is the pasta maker that I'm using, and I think I did do a live that had this pasta maker on it. I was just trying it out that day, and this is a very nice little compact. It's not heavy, or it's not that bulky. It's easy to set up. I absolutely like it. Especially right now with me being hurt, I'm not able to stand and to hand crank the pasta, but this machine will do most of the work for me, which it, as you've seen, it did, and it makes absolutely beautiful pasta. So I'm going to make some more of this would be the fettuccine noodles that I'm making. So you get your machine, and there is a drawer down below. And I really like this because you can store all of your end pieces. Right now I have on the fettuccine end. And this you can make spaghetti. You can make different size fettuccine. The one I want is on there now. You can make lasagna. You can make a larger egg noodle. And I believe this even has spaghetti. Or, sorry, macaroni. If you wanted to make your own macaroni. It comes with multiple discs. Or, well, not discs, but your ends. And, like I said, it even has the one for lasagna. So, and this one would be for, I mean, you name it, we can make it. So it does come with a variety of tips to use. It has the little storage drawer so you can put your tips in there. And then this you'll be using whenever the pasta comes out and it gets the length that you want. You just cut it off and then you can work with your pasta. So I'm going to go ahead and put a cookie sheet down that's lined in aluminum foil, and I've got my cutter. I'm going to set it off to the side. I'm going to set down a plate to catch my pasta as it's coming out. And then I've got my aligned aluminum foil pan. I'm going to set it off to the side. So once my pasta comes out and I get it cut, then I can kind of separate it, lay it out on my pans, and then I'll be ready to set it out on my island and just let it air dry. And it will take at least 48 to 72 hours. It depends on your temperature and your atmosphere, because sometimes it'll dry faster than others. So we have our pork loin in the oven, so we're getting a good start. And I absolutely love this pasta maker. There's not much to it. The instructions are really easy. And this particular one is called Pasta and Beyond. And this one has the dough recipe, so you can make all your different pastas. But this also, you can make juices and frozen fruit treats recipes. So these are the two different things that you can do. So today we're going to be running pasta. So we're not going to be doing the juicer or the frozen recipes, frozen dessert recipes. So this is the dough recipe, pasta and dough. And I just used the basic pasta recipe, which we'll be following. And it's just the basic pasta. So this is the recipe I'll be using out of this book. And again, this is the Pasta and Beyond pasta maker. And it is electric. It's very simple, easy to use. So, easy instructions. It also comes with two cups. One will say flour. Hopefully you can see that. Flour. Hopefully you can see that. And then this one says liquid. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. This one says liquid. And this one says flour. So that's pretty self-explanatory. And it also comes with a brush, which is a very nice brush for cleaning the pasta maker. And not only is this used for cutting your pasta when it comes out of your pasta maker, but each end, hopefully you can see this, this one has a round tip on this side and a flat tip on this side. And this is for cleaning out your end pieces, any dough that's in it. As you clean it, these just absolutely work wonderful. You just stick them in the little holes and it is amazing. Easy cleanup. So I'm going to go ahead and get started making some more pasta because I'm trying to get some of my pantry built back up. And it has pretty easy, simple ingredients. And I made 4 pounds of pasta dough the other day. So I'll probably make 4 pounds again today. Now I probably won't stay on here that long because I did 2 pounds and then sat down and rested a little bit and then did 2 more pounds. And I have not turned on my slow cooker yet. I'll turn it on once I get done with my pasta, get this started. Got my mashed potatoes on, cooking. I've got my pork loin in the oven. I'm going to go ahead and run some pasta through. And then here, just after I get all of this done, I'll go ahead and turn on the crock pot there with the pork loin. And it's just going to cook slow. It'll probably cook for 8 hours or more until it's ready to shred, and then we'll turn that into some pulled pork, barbecue pulled pork sandwiches. Okay, we're just going to follow the instructions, and they're very simple and easy for this pasta maker. It says add flour and salt to the mixing chamber. So I'm going to remove the lid. This is your mixing chamber. Now, so I don't make a mess, I'm going to use a spoon and I'm going to fill up my flour container. Because I don't want to dip my flour container down into my flour. So I'm just using a tablespoon. And it says to fill it up a little above a full cup. Okay, let me turn you here where you can see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. You fill it a little bit above a full cup, and then you take your spatula and you just level it off. So there's 1 cup. And I try to spread it out. 1 cup on one side of my chamber, and then the other cup on the other side of my chamber. So I need 2 cups. So I'm going to do that and repeat. And this is all-purpose flour. And I don't remember whether this is bleached or unbleached. I'm sorry, I apologize, but I do not remember. Again, I've filled it over. And then I'm going to make sure I've got it all the way around there. I'm going to take this and just level it off. And that will give me 2 cups. So if you're like me, injured, and you cannot do your own hand crank noodles, which I like, but right now I'm not able to do that. This is an absolutely wonderful, wonderful pasta maker. Okay, so now I need next ingredient. It says beat eggs and add the eggs to the liquid container. Okay, I need 2 large eggs, so let me go ahead and get 2 large eggs in a bowl. Okay, and this is just 2 large eggs. And I'm just going to crack them and add them to my bowl. Now it says to beat these well, so I'm just mixing them with a fork. I think a fork works better than the whisk. So I'm just beating well. Whipping them up with a fork. Okay, now, I did not add my salt to my flour. And it says to add your flour and your salt to the chamber. And it is 1 teaspoon of salt. This is such a simple recipe. And that is just table salt, regular granulated salt. Now, it says to add these eggs to my liquid container. So here's my liquid container. I'm going to go ahead and put my eggs in there. Okay, I know I'm going to need some olive oil. And I'm going to need 1 tablespoon. It says to beat the eggs and add it to the liquid measuring container. Then add oil, which it calls for, excuse me, 1 tablespoon of olive oil. So we're going to go ahead and add that to our container. Goodness, let me get a drink. Sorry, like I said, I'm just a hobbling around here today. It'll be all right. We'll make it through this. Okay. Now, I've got my 2 eggs beaten well, my tablespoon of olive oil. Now, you can see on this cup, this would be for 1 batch, and this would be for 2 batches. And I'm doing 2 batches. So, I've got my eggs and my oil, and now I'll add water up to this line where the 2 batch is at. I'm just using bottled water. And I brought it up to that mark. And then it says to whisk this up, mix it up. This is so simple, so easy. And when you're injured, it is so nice. I'm really glad that I invested in this, because with me being injured, and I had 2 choices. I could have made my own noodles, my own pasta, or I could have went to the store and purchased pasta noodles. And I like the homemade noodles because that way I know what's in them. I enjoy making them, but since I'm injured, I'm just taking it easy. Okay, so I'm going to mix these up really well. And then it says turn on the machine. Press the power button. So we're going to push the power button. Then it says push the batch button twice. Because once would be for 1 batch, and we're making 2. It tells you your machine will start spinning, and then you're supposed to take your egg that you've got mixed up, and it says pour it from one end to the other in this little tray. It's got holes in there for that egg to flow down through, and it says to go from end to end. And I know that my hands are clean, so I just take my finger, and if there's anything else left over from the egg, I just kind of let it work down in. Now that's basically all there is to it. This machine is going to do its own thing. And the next thing you know, I'm going to have pasta coming out of my machine. It's just that simple. That easy. So, we'll go ahead and let that get started. I want you to focus on the machine and not on me. And I'm going to go ahead and limp around here just a little bit, get a few things done. But you're going to start seeing the pasta come out of the pasta maker. I'm also going to make some deviled eggs to go with dinner, so I'm going to go ahead and get some water started. Now this will start mixing. It'll take it a little bit to mix. And then it'll turn in the opposite direction. And when it does that, it'll start making the pasta. And the pasta will come out my tip. It's just that easy. While I'm waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and put 6 eggs onto boil. That will make me 12 deviled eggs. Just adding a little bit of sea salt to my water. And I'm going to turn those on, get those started. So far for dinner, I'm going to have pork loin, which is in the oven. And again, it is baking. It'll bake slow. And then I will, every so often, about every half an hour, 45 minutes, I'm going to check it and baste it. I'm going to bring you a little closer so you can see the pasta coming out. We'll take that first off of there. And I'm just going to open that up and drop that back in. Now hopefully you can see how nice that pasta is coming out of there. And the machine is doing all the work for me, which is absolutely amazing. Whenever you're injured and you don't feel good and you're not able to keep up with things and maybe not make your own noodles by hand, this is absolutely a blessing to have. It took me just a little bit to get used to it, and no, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. It's just something that I saw and I thought I would be interested in, because if you've been watching me, you know how much my husband absolutely loves his noodles. And there is our beautiful noodles. How amazing. And all I'm going to do is just put them on cookie sheets, scatter them out, let them air dry, and I will have more noodles to put away in my pantry. And I know what's in my noodles. I made them myself. I know there's flour, there's salt, there's eggs, and virgin olive oil. See, flour, salt, eggs, virgin olive oil, and water. That's simple, that easy. And I know there is no preservatives in these, so that's why I'm separating them and letting them air dry. And then I'm putting them in quart jars, like you've seen at the beginning. Those are some that I have already made and air dried. And I just put them out on a cookie sheet, lined with aluminum foil, and absolutely beautiful. And I just let them air dry. And whenever they're done, I put them in a jar. I always add a oxygen absorber if I have it, and I know that I'm not going to be using them right away. That way, if there's any moisture at all that would be left, I know that the oxygen absorber is going to take that moisture out. But these are absolutely beautiful fettuccine noodles. Hopefully you can see that. Absolutely beautiful. The machine's doing all the work for me. I'm just putting them on a cookie sheet. I'm letting them lay out and dry, and then I'm putting them in my pantry. Once I get them dried, I put them in a quart jar. I put an oxygen absorber in, and then I use my jar sealer, seal it, and I know this is shelf stable. And I know that I made it. I know what all's in it. And it's just a healthier way for us to eat, because my husband's having some health problems. And we're trying to eat as natural and as healthy as we can. So this is just another way that I can do things, and especially with me being injured like I am with my foot and leg, because I don't think I could be able to stand here and hand crank them. But look at those amazing noodles. Just absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. Got another tray. And you can just cut these whatever length that you want them. And you can let them dry like I'm doing if you want to put them in your pantry, preserve them. Or you can do like I did the other night when I made pasta. We had a whole chicken, and I had some chicken seasoning in water, and I got my water to a boil, and I added my pasta, and the noodles were absolutely delicious. They were tender. It didn't take them very long at all to cook up. If you're just wanting to make fresh pasta with your dinner, if you got everything on cooking and you want fresh pasta, this is what I did the other night, and I had fresh pasta with dinner. And then I made extra pasta to put away in my pantry because I was running very low on pasta. Absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad that I invested in this. Pasta and Beyond. And it does an absolutely wonderful, wonderful job. So that's how easy that is to do. Isn't that amazing? And just look at those beautiful noodles. They do come out just a little bit warm, not hot. Look at those beautiful noodles. And those will be put away in my pantry. And what I did, the batch that I did is equal to 2 pounds. 2 pounds of noodles. And I'll put away 4 pounds of noodles. The other day, I have 2 quart jars that I showed you that I did put on trays, just lined with aluminum foil, just like I'm doing here. I laid them out on my island, gave them 48 hours or more. I think it was closer to 72 hours. I let them dry, and then I just put them in quart jars. So if you like pasta, this is, and you can't do the hand crank, or if you're like me and you have an injury, an unexpected injury, and as you can see, it is my leg, my foot, so I would not have the ability to stand here and do the whole hand crank. So I'm absolutely blessed to have the pasta maker. And this one is the Pasta and Beyond. So this one you can also do different juices. You can take fresh fruit and turn it into juice. You can make frozen desserts. So the part that I have is for the pasta. And then there's another complete part that you would put on if you were making your frozen treats or your juice. But is that not a blessing to have? And I needed to fill up some things. I'm not really able to drive right now because that is my right foot, which I would be using to drive. I really don't think I can go through the store. So I thought, well, you know, my pasta is running really low, which I didn't realize, so I went to make pasta for dinner the other night. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to pull out my pasta maker. And there we go. That's what we did. And I'm just going to let that finish. It's almost done. I'm going to go ahead and check on my potatoes here. They've been on for a little bit. And they're getting close. They've been cooking for a little while. And this is going to be my mashed potatoes. We've got pork loin in the oven. We've got mashed potatoes going. And I've got some more pasta, and this would be 2 pounds. And I think this is pretty well done. I'm going to cut it and see if there's any more that comes out. So, is that not amazing? I'm injured, but we're still getting things done. I'm not hand making it like I would normally do. Not cranking it, but the machine is doing it for me, and I am so grateful. Look at those beautiful, beautiful noodles. Absolutely, absolutely beautiful. And they're not sticking together, as you can see. You follow the recipe. Now, according to your atmosphere, there may be days that they're a little bit more wet, and there may be days that it's a little more dry. So that will also, just like any pasta that you're making, it could depend on your temperature, your humidity. So I'm going to go ahead and get these trays laid out on my island. I'm going to let those just air dry, just like I did my others. And these are the ones that I had on my cookie sheets, and then I just took off the cookie sheets this morning, put some oxygen absorbers in them, and then used the battery operated mason jar sealer, and I sealed the lids. So we're doing it, even though we're injured. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're filling up our pantry. Thanks to this wonderful, wonderful pasta maker. I'm absolutely, absolutely blessed. Now that's saying that's still got 2 minutes, but I'm not really seeing a whole lot coming out. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And then I'm going to turn it to the side and show you. That was the last of the noodles. So I'm going to go ahead and put them on the tray, because I don't believe in wasting. Now I'm going to turn this to the side, and you can see how little bit of dough is left. There's very, very little bit of dough left in there. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug it. And I'll show you what little bit of dough that I can gather. And it's not very much at all. Okay. That is all the dough that was left in the machine. And if I would have let it keep going, it may have spun it back and may have went ahead and made this little itty bitty ball of pasta. So that is absolutely amazing. I'm going to go ahead and toss that. And I will go ahead and start another batch. Get my second batch going. And we will get this out to dry. So let me go ahead and get my next batch started. Get everything out here and ready. And since my machine is already dirty, I'm going to go ahead and do my second batch. And this will be 4 pounds of pasta mix pasta that we have made this morning. And that will be 4 pounds to let dry naturally. And I just let it dry naturally on the island. Just making a little bit of noise here this morning. Okay. I've got my 2 eggs. And I'm going to go ahead and get out a spoon. Sorry, I'm still hobbling this morning, but I'm getting it done. And that's going to repeat what I did earlier. I'm getting 2 cups. And the one that says the flour. And I'm going to overfill it just a little bit. And then I'm going to take my okay, you can't see what I'm doing. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to take my scoop. I've overfilled it. I'm just repeating what I've done earlier. And I'm going to take this little spatula. I'm going to level it off. That's 1 cup. And that's all-purpose flour. Again, I'm just using a spoon so I don't have to stick that down in my flour container. Filling it up a little over full. Taking my spatula. And I'm just leveling it off. And that is 2 cups. And I'm moving a little bit faster this time. So now I'm going to get my eggs ready. And 2 scrambled eggs. Well, not scrambled, but 2 eggs. Whisk them well. And I'm going to be using a fork. And I'm just going to be whipping them really well. Gonna mix up really good. Now with my flour, I need to add my salt into my chamber. So I needed 2 cups of the flour, so it's in there, it's all-purpose flour. Now I need 1 teaspoon of salt, and it's just the granulated table salt. It's 1 teaspoon. And that goes right into your flour mixture. And I'm going to make sure my eggs are mixed really well. I'm going to put my lid back on my machine. And if I'm going too fast, I've already done this once. You can go back and watch it. I'm just speeding it up a little bit because the machine is sitting there, and I might as well go ahead and do a second batch. So this will be 4 pounds of pasta. And then I need olive oil. So I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And this is just virgin olive oil. And then once again, I'm making 2 batches. So if I was making 1 batch, I would have only used 1 egg, and then went up to here. I'm using 2 batches, so we're going to be going up to this line with the 2 cups. So now the only thing I need to add is water. Just using bottled water. And now I'm going to mix this up really good. Make sure it's all blended. The oil, the eggs, and the water. Then I'm going to turn the machine on. And I will push the batch button twice. Once it's for 1 batch. Twice is for 2 batches. It started spinning. So now I'm going to start adding my eggs to this little container. And it says go from end to end. And I'm going to go ahead and use my finger, and if there's anything left there, I'm going to go ahead and try and get it down through the hole. Okay, that's all there is to it. It's my second batch. That fast. My second batch of pasta is making. So I'm going to wash my hands here and get my next trays ready. I've got my plate ready. And this is so nice because you can go along and do your dinner, do whatever you're wanting to do, and your pasta maker will do all the work for you. And I think that's amazing. And right now, right now I need that extra help. I apologize. We are limping around the kitchen, but we are getting it done. And again, this is the Pasta and Beyond, if you're interested in this particular pasta maker. And no, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I just did purchase this pasta maker, and now I'm so glad that I have it. And it is just wonderful, wonderful. Georgina, have a nice day, Georgina. So anyway, this does any pastas that you can think of almost. It does macaroni, ravioli, spaghetti, lasagna, fettuccine. I mean, it is just amazing. And it is so nice if you want your fresh pasta. You just get your dinner started, get your spaghetti sauce started, and get your water boiling. And this machine will have you some fresh pasta when you are ready for it. And I'm going to go ahead and get some more trays ready to lay this out and let it dry. Check my potatoes. And this way I can get other things done, and then I can go sit down and rest. And it doesn't take me as long as trying to make all my pasta by hand and use my crank pasta maker. So I thought I would just bring you along this morning, show you what a wonderful job this machine does. And if you want to make your own pasta, air dry it, store it in your pantry and have it on stock whenever you're ready for it. You need some noodles, just go to your pantry. I have air dried it on the island. I just laid it on aluminum foil covered cookie sheets, just let it air dry till it was nice and crispy and it would break. And when it first broke, I would still let it lay for another day just to make sure it was good and dry. I got all of the noodles dried, and this morning I put them in the 2-quart jars. I put some oxygen absorbers in it, and then I sealed them with my Mason jar sealer. So these are now ready for my pantry, and anytime I need them, they're there. So that's what we're doing. Even though we're injured, we're still getting some things done. And hopefully I won't be in this boot for long. As you can see, here comes our second batch of pasta. Absolutely amazing fettuccine pasta. And I'm just going to let it lay out on these cookie sheets just like the other and let it dry. And then I will put it in mason jars and seal it and put it in my pantry. And anytime I want pasta, it's there. And I know that it's healthy. I know that I made it. I know what ingredients is in it. There's very little ingredients in it. And I know it's healthy. It's good. And it's also rewarding because I'm doing it myself. And as you can see, that's absolutely beautiful noodles. This is a very nice kitchen appliance to have if you like noodles. And my husband, I believe, could live on noodles some days a week. Noodles are good. They're healthy. There's not a whole lot of ingredients in it, and if you lay them out to dry and put them away, you've always got noodles in your pantry anytime you want to make a dish. And this also does the spaghetti, the lasagna pasta, macaroni. So any of the pastas that you would like to have, you can make them ahead of time. Or you can make them that evening for dinner. While you're preparing dinner, just get everything out, change your tip to whatever pasta you would like to add for your dinner. And this is an absolutely wonderful little machine. It's compact, it's not heavy, it's not bulky, it's easy to clean. Cleanup is really easy. Would I recommend it? I absolutely would. Especially if you're having trouble with your hands and it's hard for you to roll out the pasta by hand. This is a very nice appliance. Very nice addition to the kitchen. And as you can see, it makes absolutely beautiful pasta. And this is the Pasta and Beyond. If you like fresh fruit, fresh juice to drink, again, this is fettuccine noodles. If you like fresh juice, this has also got a juice maker that you can put on it and make your own fresh juices. Frozen tree desserts. And the part that I've gone on right now, of course, is the pasta. Is for making pasta. I don't have the other one here with me, and I don't have it out. And with me being injured, I really don't want to go and try to find it and bring it out. And so the next time that I'm maybe doing it, I will show you that part as well. So there's another tray of noodles. And it is so fast and so easy. And you can cut them to any length that you want. That was a little longer than I wanted, so I went ahead and cut them down a little bit. Because I'm putting mine in quart jars and mason jars. And I put them in a wide mouth jar because that makes it easier for them to just shake out. And these are so simple, so easy to do. It's healthy. And if you like to stock your pantry with healthy food, and you enjoy taking the extra time and making your own pastas, this is a really nice appliance. So I'm getting several things done here this morning. I've got my pork loin in the oven. I've got some potatoes on cooking, so I'm going to turn into mashed potatoes. I've got the other half of the pork loin in the crock pot, and as soon as I'm done with the pasta, I'm going to turn the crock pot on, and I'm just going to let the other half of the pork loin just cook slowly until it is cooked enough to fall apart and to shred, and that will be turned into pulled pork, barbecue pulled pork sandwiches. So that will be another meal that I will be putting in the freezer and restocking my freezer. And I'm just trying to do as much as I can with as little effort as possible because I'm injured. And it was an unexpected injury, and it just happened, you know. Accidents happen. It just is what it is. And we can make the best of it, or we can just sit down and give up. And I can't sit down and give up. Even injured, there's hungry people to feed, including me. Yes, including me. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I hope this wasn't too boring. This is another idea. If you enjoy pasta and you don't really have the time to sand and mix up your pasta and let it set, and then cut it and then roll it and cut your pasta and then let it dry. This is very handy, very handy. It's very quiet. If you have children in the house, they could be taking a nap, and you could be making pasta, and if you wanted to fill up your pantry like I am, you can hear a little bit of squeak. And that's it. It just has a little bit of a squeak. So children will be able to take a nap through this. And if you needed just a little extra time to go in and do things, this is something that you could do while someone is resting. If you have children or elderly or someone in your home is sleeping, you could still do this. It's not noisy at all. Very, very fast. It doesn't take long at all. I've been on here now for an hour and a half, and I went ahead in that hour and a half and I started my potatoes cooking. I already had them peeled and cubed, and I got them on cooking for mashed potatoes. I cut my pork loin in half, prepared one half for the oven for dinner today. I have the other half in the crock pot that I'm going to be turning on here in just 1 minute. And I don't add anything to the one in the crock pot. It's just a half a pork loin. And I just put it in there, and I've got a liner in my crock pot. And I'll let it just cook slowly throughout the day. And about 8 hours, 10 hours until it's done and it's falling apart. And I can shred it. And then that will become my barbecued pulled pork sandwiches. So anyway, I hope that was not too boring, and I just wanted to share that with you and let you know how I'm getting along. After my injury, I'm doing good. I haven't made it to the orthopedic doctor yet. I'm still waiting on their phone call. But we are getting little things done. I will do a little bit and then rest a little bit. And yes, it's been an hour and a half. And I definitely need to get off this leg. So I'm just trying to let the rest of this pasta run through. And then I'm going to turn this off and go take a little break. Turn on my crock pot, get that other half of the pork loin going. So that will be ready later today, and if it's not, I'll turn it down on low and just let it cook slow and on low overnight and until it's ready to shred and turn into pulled pork sandwiches. So anyway, I want to thank you for stopping in. Thank you for your patience and your kindness. You're always so kind. And we have some more pasta ready to lay out and just let it air dry on the island. And here in about 72 hours, I'll have some more pasta that I can put away in my pantry. And there you have it. That's what I've gotten done. So, let me turn this around here. So there is all my pasta. I've got one sheet here. I've got 3 cookie sheets here, and I'm just going to let them lay on my island and let them air dry. And in about 72 hours, I'll be able to put those away. And there we have it. So anyway, I just want to thank everybody for stopping in. Hopefully it wasn't, like I said, too boring. And I will catch you the next time. I need to got this turned off. I'm going to get it unplugged. And then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to take a break. And just wait for the rest of this stuff to get done. I've got some eggs on slow to make some deviled eggs. Some potatoes on cooking to make mashed potatoes. That'll be enough for dinner tonight. And enough to put a few servings away in the freezer for future meals. And I have the pork loin in the oven for dinner tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my crock pot on. And I'm going to start that on high, and I'm going to get my coffee, and I'm going to go sit down and take a break and give my leg a break. So again, I want to thank you for stopping in. And I just wanted to share with you how things are going. And yes, I'm still getting a few things done, even though we have the unexpected injury. And yes, we are still sporting the new boot up to my knee. It is what it is. And hopefully when I go to the orthopedic doctor, we can go down to just an ankle wrap, hopefully, and get out of this boot. So thank you for limping along with me this morning, for sharing this little experience with me. And I just want to thank you. Thank you for your kindness. And as always, don't be afraid to try new things in the kitchen. I tried the new pasta maker. I didn't know what I would think of it the first time. I think I did a live. For some reason, I stopped the machine and then it didn't want to do what it should do. So the second time, I just let the machine do what it was supposed to do, and it does its thing. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't be afraid to try new things. It's always fun. And as always, be kind. Please be kind to one another. And please overlook the way I look. We're injured and we're doing our best. But hey, look at this. We got it done. You, we did this together this morning. So thank you for joining me. And I'll see you the next time. Bye-bye, everyone. Enjoy your Monday. And remember, every day is a new day, a new start, a new beginning. Don't be afraid to try something new. Have fun with your day. Enjoy your day. Till next time. Bye-bye. Enjoy, everybody. See you next time.